Hello, folks. This is Kenny with Just the Right Angle coming at you live with an update on a big story that I would share. Actually, I think I'll share this tab. This is from KRK4's news post. It was originally on their Facebook page, and they have a main story here. So, the city of Little Rock has a lot of drama that's going on. It's had a lot of crime, there's a lot of potholes, there's a lot of things going on. They had recently had two attempts to raise taxes, both of which were voted down in what is a predominantly Democrat city. And what does the mayor decide to do? Instead of focusing on fixing the issue of homelessness, there is an illegal migration problem in Little Rock, crumbling infrastructure that oftentimes Democrats like to complain about. No, instead, the mayor wants to build a multi-million-dollar park, deck park. Now, what this would do, this would cover the area, and they talk a little bit about it more over here. This is kind of a Facebook view. This is between 6th and 9th Street. I don't know if folks are familiar with Little Rock. This is not the best part of town. As you're entering Little Rock, let me show the map of Little Rock right quick, and I'll show you a little bit of what it is I'm talking about. But it would be at the intersection of 630 and I-30, a little bit north of that. And it would cost several millions of dollars. They've already spent $2.5 million of federal funds and some kind of Department of Transportation grant that should have been, oh, I'm sorry, it was $2 million. Here, I'll share this here. So they were awarded $2 million from the Reconnecting Communities pilot program granted by the U.S. Department of Transportation to study the possibility of constructing this park. The city had to spend $500,000 of its taxpayer funds to support the total cost of the project. This was just basically the study for this. And during the meeting, the discussion over funds prompted board member Lance Hines to bring other issues. We face issues with our city streets and whether or not we spend $500,000 on our roads out of street funds to do this, I get, but it's tough to have a conversation with our constituents on why we can't pave roads. Yeah, Little Rock has a huge pothole problem. That is one of many things they should be focusing on. And instead, they are focusing on this, looks like a pet project. And one of the worst parts of the town. If you look at any of the crime maps, I had one as an intro. I'll show an interactive one right here. This is from crimegrade.org. And they just kind of have a map of the area. And here I'm sharing it now. Overall crime. And this is I'll try to load the interactive map here. I did it before. I've done this with some maps before, and sometimes they get a little sketchy. So there, this here between 6th Street and 9th Street. This is where they want to do the parking deck. There's 8th, but Clinton Library would have a library over here that kind of has its own walk part. You also have a Museum of Fine Arts. You have a park right around here, MacArthur Park. So you already have parks here. So I don't know why they're wanting to build another park right here. And you can see some of the stats here from crimegrade.org, safest places in Little Rock. And it goes through all the various stats. Yeah, College Station, which is kind of to the east of there, overall crime rate. And I think Little Rock overall is one of the most, has a D- in terms of crime. I'm going to post this link on the chat page so y'all can see it. Yeah, Little Rock does not need a multi-million-dollar park that covers the crumbling interstate system, and it doesn't need it there either. As I said before, right in this area where they're wanting to build, there is several parks already there. The Clinton Library has pretty much a walk trail. It's a park. The River Market area is a place where people can walk. And then there's a park right over here, MacArthur Park. It's just stupid. It's a multi-million-dollar stupid pet project. And here's part of the problem. Mayor Frank Scott Jr., I'm going to go back to the KRK4 story. This is a quote from him. The I-30 Crossing Deck Park is a design and vision that encompasses a collaboration of the business community, whoever that is, particularly 50 for the Future, the community at large, Coalition of Little Rock Neighborhoods, City of Little Rock Board of Directors, obviously not all of them, Lance Hines is opposed to this, Senator Clark Tucker, he's a Democrat, Arkansas state senator, and the Biden administration on how do we truly connect neighborhoods that were divided by interstates, the mayor said. Okay, if you want to cross the interstate, you just get in a car. And in fact, there is supposed to be a walk bridge. There's supposed to be a way to walk on 6th Street. The neighborhoods aren't disconnected. Secondly, these neighborhoods, nobody wants to be in either one of them. Okay? So why are you spending millions of dollars that you don't have? And I'll scroll down here. I don't think he gives an exact amount. It will take several years of planning and cost hundreds of millions of dollars to create. Hundreds of millions of dollars that they're planning on making for this thing. And that's what he's promising. We know with a lot of these pet projects, it goes way over budget. Happens all the time. And you see these pet projects before. I call this the Park to Nowhere. It's named after the Bridge to Nowhere, which was a Republican in Nebraska who used federal funds to build a bridge to an island so that he could get votes from, like, I think there was like 80-something people on this island in Alaska. So it's called if you type in the Bridge to Nowhere, you'll find out it's one of many examples of massive government waste. But why is this happening? I want to talk about, we have part of the problem is the Republican Party fails to really do anything about going after these, trying to retake these cities and pushing for candidates and supporting them in terms of voting out folks. I don't remember if Mayor Frank Scott Jr. he actually is up for election. I don't know the city council of this status. Besides Lance Hines, I don't know very many others that are and what we would call fiscally responsible folks. But one of the problems is the Republican Party of Arkansas and across the nation has a bad habit of dropping the ball when it comes to these city and county elections. They don't fund county committees. They don't fund city and county candidates, and it's a shame. They'll give $400,000 checks to consultants that do next to nothing, but when it comes to actually funding candidates, they're nowhere to be found. But there is another problem, and it's kind of hand in hand. This is a group called the Municipal League. If you follow my here, this is the Arkansas Municipal League, and it is a special interest group. They represent Arkansas's municipalities before state and national legislative bodies. So they lobby on behalf of cities. And here they are. They have days at the Capitol, so they lobby our legislators And these guys here are lobbyists. They twist the arm of the Arkansas legislature. Now, you would think with a Republican legislature that these people would be told to pound sand. But unfortunately, they have a lot of sway. Now, keep an eye on this guy here, John. I'm just going to play a little bit of this. All of it.
Like many things, a bill starts as a simple idea, and then legislators and others put work into that idea to make that idea a reality.
Remember, legislatures write the bills.
To help illustrate this process from idea to law, we're going to invent a fake legislator. Let's say their name is Bill Billington. Clever, I know. Representative Billington represents District 499, somewhere in Arkansas, and Representative Billington has heard from Mayor Jane of an idea for a bill. Representative Billington likes Mayor Jane's idea and decides he wants to draft a bill to make that idea law. We'll keep it simple and not get into the details of Bill's bill, but let's just say it's a good bill for Arkansas's cities and towns. Representative Billington takes his idea to the state capitol and files it. And now, that idea is no longer just Bill's idea, it's now House Bill 2001.
Once a bill is filed, it will show appear on the Arkansas Legislator website. When a bill is filed,
So they're kind of telling you the process. This is kind of like Schoolhouse Rock. They're telling you how a bill is supposed to be filed, all the process, and they paint themselves, of course, as the good guys. They decide that they're the good guys. Let me skip over to this guy. I want to see him.
I parked down there at our Sisters and Brothers building, the Association of Arkansas Counties. Right over here is the Arkansas State Capitol.
So remember, they have a building right near the state capitol.
We're going to get started our day at the Capitol. Follow me. And as much as I would love to enter the bronze doors behind me, they're beautiful, great for pictures. As the sign says, we can't enter there. Instead, we're going to walk underneath the staircase here, through the portico.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let me skip over here.
Off the downstairs at least, talk to your representative and legislative.
So they like to talk to representatives when they're having lunch and lobby them. So keep that in mind. So they have this little Schoolhouse Rock thing of how they claim bills are run. Remember this John guy. Let me see if I can find the video. Here's the same John guy here. He's not as happy, and you're going to find out why. The title of this is from Conduit News. Hat tip to them. Are some associates like the Arkansas Municipal League so powerful that you as a taxpayer must pay for state employees to do their legal work? And the answer, according to this article, is yes. So remember that this video, by the way, has been taken down, but it's been saved here by Conduit News. Shared in a meeting held by the FOIA Task Force on February 12, 2001, the Municipal League attorney John Wilkerson said, when asked if they went through a representative to get the bill draft of a BLR, no, we just go to BLR sometimes to get bills drafted already. And he went on to say, you don't have to have a legislator to draft a bill. Well, you as a taxpayer don't have to have a legislator draft a bill. Well, actually, you do. You need to contact them. You have to. And then the legislature has to go to BLR, but these people don't. And in BLR's Bureau of Legislative Research is a state-funded agency that drafts bills. That's supposed to draft bills and go through the legal process of making sure the bills are correct in terms of not just grammar and spelling, but make sure the bills don't break any laws. But apparently they are drafting bills for the Municipal League, who are registered lobbyists for cities and towns. So your taxpayers are paying for the legal work of lobbyists like the Municipal League. And it's a regular occurrence. This isn't just, they do this all the time. And as far as I know, this was way back in 2001. I don't know if this issue's ever been addressed. And I'll play a little bit of this video that, by the way, I should remind you, has been taken down. I'll add closed caption.
And who are you working with on this?
I don't have anybody. I mean, we've talked to several folks just about this generally, but nobody that's signed on for the bill. I think everybody obviously recognizes the importance of the task force, and so I decided to bring it to y'all first rather than take it to someone and have them bring it to y'all later on.
But you've got a BLR drafted bill, right? I mean, you've gone through a representative to get a bill drafted.
No, we just go to BLR sometimes and get bill drafts ready.
Robert, there's no requirement for that. They can write a bill just like you can, and then ultimately it's going to go through BLR. So
I can, but this went through BLR.
This happens all the time.
Really? I've never made a phone call to BLR, had them draft a bill for me. I mean, I mean this sincerely. I'm happy. I did not know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Municipal League can draft something and then they find a sponsor who takes it to
No, Jeff,
BLR.
this is on BLR letterhead. This is from BLR. Am I not right about that?
Yeah, I have never had a case where
This is a state senator, Dan Sullivan, by the way. So it's important to know what he said regarding this.
Asked me to write a bill that would able to go to BLR without my specific authorization. As a matter of fact, when that happens and agents go to the BLR, they will tell them, in my experience is every time, that they have to have a legislature before they will even speak to you. As a matter of fact, when we write amendments, I have to give approval for every amendment that's made to a bill before BLR will even communicate. I think, Prissy, your experience has probably been the same.
I think what Mr. Steinbeck is saying is that BLR drafted a bill doesn't have a legislator on there at all.
Right.
And I didn't know they did that.
That was my question.
There's not
I didn't know that happens.
So, John, do you want to address, has this gone through BLR or not?
Yeah, it's gone through BLR. But you don't have to have, like you said, Jeff, you don't have to have a legislator say that you want to draft a bill. We try to have a good working relationship with BLR. We send them bills that we think could work, and then we get a sponsor sometimes afterwards. And so, because it's an FOI bill, I wanted to make sure that we, talk to y'all before we got a sponsor for it.
That answers my question 100%. I was unaware of that process entirely.
By the way, that guy's a lawyer, and he didn't know that they had this much power. So yeah, this is part of the problem. The groups like the Municipal League, there's another group called the Association of Counties. Let me exit full screen. This is actually their logo. I suspect they do the same thing. They have unprecedented power over we the people. They get to bypass our legislators and make these stupid bills that allow clowns like Frank Scott Jr. to work on multi-million-dollar parks instead of fixing sewers and streets and dealing with the homelessness and the illegal aliens and the crime and everything else. Here's another problem. On our federal issue, we oftentimes have the same issue. Remember that the $2 million to do this stupid study on the park was done by the Arkansas Department of Transportation. So this is a story in today, or actually I mean it was yesterday. Arkansas lawmakers bring the federal funds to Natural State with project requests. Now, I don't know what these projects are. Some of them may even be good, but the problem is oftentimes these projects are for stupid things like solar panel farms or windmills or parks or bike paths. And there doesn't seem to be really an emphasis on why can't we redirect these funds, get rid of these grants for things we don't need and redirect it to things that it's supposed to do, like fixing actual roads, like fixing bridges, like upgrading the electrical grid that's decades out of service, like fixing the water sewage problem that's going on in Fort Smith. All these things that are much more important than parks or bike paths or little pet projects. Again, of course, these are all Republican congressmen, and I don't know what these projects are, but I wanted to show people real quick, this is the kind of stuff that's going on. And in the same light, this is a kind of a segue to the other issue. Of course, we have the Franklin County Prison, and the Franklin County Prison has had a big issue regarding, it's been turning into a big, massive boondoggle in of itself. I had this And posted. Here we go. Here's the picture of it. Apparently, they had yesterday was it's supposed to be a town hall, and it was supposed to be a bunch of officials from this regarding this prison that were supposed to meet with the people and talk. So they had a meeting, and then they had public comment. So this is the meeting before public comment, and then this is the meeting afterwards. Almost all these people got up and left. Almost every one of them. I can't see their titles. I wish I could. Now, somebody needs to zoom in and find out who each of these people are. But again, they had this panel, but when it came to hear from the public, they got up and left. The media also left. You'll notice most of the cameras. I was not able to attend this. It looks like there's one camera there, and of course, Conduit's there taking pictures. But again, town hall meeting, supposed to be a bunch of people, very expensive hotel room, big old presentation, all that, and then public comment, they're gone. And that's so, and people need to understand that's the way things are. It's not just about voting. It's about what's going on the local level. What organizations really have the power. So, folks, that's about it. That's all I wanted to talk about. You can follow me at Just the Right Angle for more updates on issues that affect you. Like and share this video. Talk about it. Spread the word. Find out when you vote for someone, find out who their consultant is and see if they're connected to one of these organizations. You will be surprised. Anyway, you all have a good day. And when the wicked rule, the people grow, and always remember that.